In this example, we're going to find the quartiles of the data set. To find the quartiles of a data set, we focus on the concept of median that we saw before. The median is a measure of position which divides data sets in half. Because we are considering measures of position, the median, we first sort the data set. We now sort the data set from the lowest value to the highest value. So the sorted data set is 53, 53, 54, 55, 64, 66, 67, 67 again, and one more time 67. We also have the last number, the highest value, 72. Pay attention to be sure that you didn't miss any of the values. The original data set has 10 values in it, and the ordered data set also has 10 values. The quartiles of the data set divides the set in quarters. Therefore, we have 3 quartiles. Quartile number 1, quartile number 2, quartile number 3. Quartile number 2 is known as the median, so let's divide the set in half. In order to find the quartiles, we start with the median. So we locate the value or values sitting in the middle of the data set once they are ordered from the lowest value to the highest value. In this case, we have 2 values sitting in the middle of the data set. The values are 64 and 66. Therefore, the median or second quartile is 64 plus 66 divided by 2. The result of this computation is 65. So the second quartile is 65. Now let's take a look at the first quartile. In order to find the first quartile, we're going to focus on the lower half of the data set. Since 64 and 65 are the values sitting in the middle of the data set, we have that, just a second, we have that 64 is part of the first half of the data set. So the lower half of the data set has now 5 values. So we have one single number sitting in the middle of the lower half of the data set. Therefore, Q1 is 54. Similarly, we can find now the third quartile, Q3. And again, for that, we're going to focus on half of the data set, but the upper half of the data set. That means that we have 66, 67, 67, 67, and 72 in the upper half of the data set. Therefore, there is only one single number also sitting in the middle of the data set, and that number is 67. So we have that quartile number 3, or third quartile, is 67. So to conclude our example, we have as a result that the quartiles of the data set are Q1, which is 54, Q2, or the median, in this case is 65, Q3, or third quartile, is 67.